Welcome back, guys, to the grow series. Here we have obviously only two plants. The Royal Queen seeds did not sprout. Nothing too surprising there. But we're gonna keep it rocking with these two. They both look really good, nice and green. That's due to me loading up that soil real well with the nutrients before we went ahead and planted the seeds. So it's taking care of them real nice. Here in the front we have the frozen black cherry, and in the back we have the Northern Delights that is an autoflower. I believe that one is on day 11 since sprout, and this one is day 10. Today is March 31st, so yeah, I'll keep that information for my records. It's not too important though. For the autoflower it's a little more important, but for the other one not really. I'll just flip it when I'm ready, or when it's ready. But yeah, it's been real easy right now. I've just been giving them plain tap water, no pH adjustments. It comes out at 7, maybe a little bit lower. Now something I do see guys do a lot when plants are this small, this is only, it's not too big, but I'll see guys, they'll take a little shot glass, 50 milliliters of water, and they'll use that to water their plants. That's not good. That's just gonna get the top of just this area here wet. Your roots are just gonna stay in that area. It's not gonna be good for the plant at all. The first time I watered these, I think they just had the first set of leaves showing, not the how do you pronounce that? Cotyledons, however, I don't know. The first set of leaves, the baby leaves, it just had that, and then one more set of leaves, and I gave it 2 liters of water per plant. And we had obviously about half a liter of runoff down there at the bottom, but I know that whole pot got soaked real well. And that's just going to allow the roots to keep growing through the pot and find their way to some good sources of nutrients and water. So again, don't just give it a little bit of water right here. You want to really get these things wet. The second watering was a whole liter and we had no runoff. So yeah, give the plant water and it'll give you weed. I think the next watering, I'm going to start giving it a little bit of silica. That's going to help strengthen up these stems a little bit. They're still pretty thin and flimsy. I started with the silica pretty early on the last grow, and the difference it made was pretty impressive. Instantly the stems started getting way thicker and stronger. So these guys did stretch a little bit. That'll help with that. They stretched because I don't have any fancy like PPFD meters or anything. So yeah, I just start with the low light and then I kick it up until they stop stretching. And they seem pretty happy where they're at now. So we're gonna let these guys keep rocking. This is only Monday now, so I think I'll post another, or take another video here later in the week, and we'll be able to see how far they've come since this video. Alright, it's only been 2 days since the last clip, but we've had some pretty good growth on these. This one here though, it's a little top heavy. She's got skinny legs. So what we're gonna do to fix that, I've got here some toothpicks, and we're just going to use them to prop it up. So just lightly grab it and just position it, standing like an adult. These are not baby plants. And yep, that looks okay. In a few hours these leaves will turn back up. They'll face the light, but they look good. They're super green. Not really too many issues showing on the leaves. The autoflower has some white spots and some wrinkly edges, but when people try to chase little issues like that, they end up causing more issues. The only issue I'm going to work with right now is I'm going to get some silica in this soil so that this girl can get some thicker thighs. That's what we'll call it. The silica is really going to help with that. I think probably by next week this time won't be twice as thick easy. So I'm going to go get that mixed up, and then yeah, I'll give it to the girls. Alright, back in the mixing lab. Definitely not the kitchen. So this is the silica that I use. I don't even know if it's good or not. I mean, it worked last time really good, so I'm not familiar with it. This is only my second time using it, but it works good. So it wants 1 milliliter of this stuff per liter of water. So I've already gone here and measured out 2 milliliters, and we just squirt that in, mix it up, and I believe this is going to raise the pH. Some people online say that when you add silica to water, you have to let it sit for an hour. The instructions for this didn't mention that, so I'm not gonna let it sit. I'm just gonna follow what the manufacturer recommends. Dip that in, and yeah, we went a little basic. So I get my high-tech pH down. This is lemon juice. Unfortunately, Germany makes it a little hard to get reliable pH down. Alright, this should be perfect. Come on, you bitch. Alright. That had some spots on it. Yeah, that looks good. Just under 7. So I'm gonna go give this to the girls then. Just 1 liter per plant pot. I have to be careful with this stuff. It did burn one of my plants last grow. It didn't like it for some reason. I think it was changing the pH in the soil just a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna go give this to the girls. And so I see sometimes some guys are like, when do I know when I need to water, or they're watering too frequently. By the way, overwatering is not how much water you give the plant, it's how frequent you give the plant water. So if you give 1 liter every day, that could be enough to overwater. If you give 10 liters in one day, you'll be okay. So it's about the frequency, not the amount of water. But anyways, that said, the way I check if my plants need water, I just stick my finger right at the edge of the pot. It comes out, it's mostly clean. I can feel that soil is pretty dry in there too. I'm not checking here in the center. I don't care about the center. I want my roots to get all the way out to the edge, and to do that they're going to need moisture there. So yeah, these girls need some water. I have the silica mixed up here. I'm gonna give it to them right now. See. Alright guys, as you can see, we've had quite a bit of growth since the last clip. This is the black cherry. I believe it's about a month old now, and these leaves are just huge on this thing. I can't believe this. But today what we're doing is we're going to start some low stress training. I've got here some jute twine I'm going to use to bend this down. I want to flatten out that canopy and start growing a bunch of more colas instead of just one big main one. So I'll show you guys how I like to do that. This is just the first bend, so it's not going to be anything too critical. When things start getting crazy, I'll make another video on this, how I plan out my bending and all that to maximize the number of colas I'm gonna have. But what I like to do, I cut myself a length of string. I like to just go ahead and tie a loop in one end, make it tight. That's a nice little cinch knot right there. I think that's what it's called. And that's gonna help us get this set right. So I've already got from the last grow, I've got holes drilled all the way around the edge of the pot. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the string through, go around the branch of the plant, and put it through that loop that we made. Now I want to pull that tight, and what that's going to allow me to do is now I can pull on the tail here and shorten that string up, get this thing bending over. I like doing this because as the plant grows, you'll have to make some small adjustments to the strings, and this just allows you to do it super easy. But we are just bending it just like that today. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. I don't want to break that stem, but this is pretty horizontal now. Let me get you off my ghetto camera mount and I'll show you guys. I'm just using tape to hold my camera. I got nothing fancy here. So, you can see that bend that's in that main stem now. That's good. That means all these shoots here, these are gonna come up and become more tops. We've got these side branches here. What I like to do with the lower ones is I like to bring them back the opposite way of what I just did that bend. It's gonna help fill this whole pot out relatively quicker, but we're not doing that today. We're gonna give it a few days before I go ahead and do my next bend on it. But yeah, it's great. We got it put into its final pot. That was 2 days ago, so it's gonna live the rest of its life in this pot, and I'm hoping to get nice big juicy buds from this plant. Alright, we've also got here an update on the autoflower. She's gone ahead and moved outside for the rest of her life. Looking really green. Really happy with the way that this is growing. I like how these lower branches, they're just coming up and meeting that top cola right there. I didn't do any training on this. But this is going to be nice. That's going to give us more big, larger buds. At least technically 3 main colas. So that's going to be real good. I did start to see pistils starting to form on this a couple of days ago. So that's why I went ahead and put it in its final pot. And it's starting to stink a little bit. So I think that here in 2 or 3, maybe 3 weeks, we'll just start to see some buds forming on it. It's got to go through that stretch phase first. Hoping it grows quite a bit during that. But that's it for this update. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, giving it water and nutrients. And she looks like she's really liking what I'm doing. So to wrap up this video, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time here and talk about what I've been doing up to this point to take care of these plants and why they're so green. I've been giving, between pure water, well, just tap water, straight water, and then nutrients with the vegetative nutrients from the first video. I gave it that silica, and oh my god, look how much bigger that stem is. I forgot to show this earlier. So the silica works. This plant didn't show any negative reactions to it, so that's good. That means we can go ahead and keep on giving it to it. I also gave it some CalMag. I believe once with the vegetative nutrients and then once on its own. I don't remember exactly. I don't really log this stuff. I keep about a week's worth of the information in my head, because within a week you're gonna see if what you did the plant does not like. So you don't need to keep a journal of everything you've given it. Just about a week buffer zone. It might be a little hard for some of the stoners with a bad memory, but I can manage to do it. If you can't, just write it down, maybe on a sticky note or something, I don't know. But yeah, I've just been, I showed you guys, I stick my finger in the soil when it comes out dry. I just give it more water or food, and we just let this grow. Now in a couple days, well actually by tomorrow, this shoot is going to be pointing straight back up, and I'm going to let it get to maybe about right here or so, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold it down. It should reach the edge of the pot by that point, and then I'm going to start curling it. Get my finger in there. Start curling it around the rim of the pot. I really like doing this. It gives a lot of side branching, which means a lot of new colas, which means a lot of weed. So that's the plan. That when I do my LST, that's the way I do it, and it works. So why change it? I've tried last grow. I tried topping. It was okay. But I'm definitely a bigger fan of just straight LST, no topping. Maybe some super cropping down the line if you absolutely need to. But I'm just super happy with the way this is growing. Lights are only about 30% right now, and this thing's just getting massive under them. These leaves are huge. I can palm a basketball, and these are the size of my hand. Bigger actually, so they're huge. And I'm not gonna take them off yet. These are nice solar panels for the plant. It's gonna give it a lot of energy. As I start getting more tops, these bigger leaves are gonna be pushed further and further below the canopy. They won't be getting as much light. Then I will cut them off to promote airflow, and just because the plant doesn't need them anymore. But I'm excited to see what this plant does. I really am, and I hope you guys are too. That'll wrap it up for this video, and in the next one it's going to be more explosive growth. I think there's going to be a lot of changes, and I don't think these plants will look like they do now. Until then guys, take care.